Beach.
Thank you. Councilwoman Price, to you.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience, everyone who's here for this item. We were not expecting it to take this long to get called, so I appreciate you guys sticking around. In honor of International Women's Day, a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women, the day also marks a call to action for accelerating gender parity. To celebrate International Women's Day, my female colleagues and I are requesting the City Attorney to draft a resolution in support of the Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, also known as CEDAW. CEDAW is a landmark international agreement that affirms principles of fundamental human rights and equity for women around the world. In December of 1979, the United Nations General Assembly adopted CEDAW, and in 1998, San Francisco became the first municipality in the world to adopt a local ordinance. CEDAW offers countries a blueprint to promote basic rights and to open opportunities for women and girls in all areas of society. In addition to asking the Long Beach City Council to support CEDAW, we are also requesting the city manager to identify a city commission that can partner with California State University Long Beach to complete a gender analysis study of Long Beach. After the gender analysis study is completed, our selected city commission should examine policy reforms as outlined by the study and consistent with CEDAW in order to make recommendations to the City Council for the implementation of any policy reforms or additional programming that are consistent with the goals of CEDAW. This very important legislation was brought to our office by our resident Nazanin Amani. Nazanin is a member of the Women's Intercultural Network and is leading the campaign of Cities for CEDAW. I hope the City Council will support CEDAW and our work to ensure women and girls are treated equally in all areas of our society. I'd like to ask all of the women and men who are here tonight in support of this item to stand and be recognized. Thank you to my colleagues who signed on to the item, and I ask all of our colleagues to join us in supporting this item when we vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Gonzalez.
Yes, I want to thank Councilwoman Price, and I want to thank everyone here tonight for their work on this every single day. I know we get one night to recognize this, and when it comes back, I'm sure we'll continue the celebration. But it really speaks volumes as to what is possible. You know, when we initiate a study, when we look further into the quality of life of women. Many of us here work in male-dominated fields and in politics and in my other life in technology, and it's always how do we make sure that young women, girls, you know, I have all boys at home, but how do we make sure that young girls have opportunities like we do here on the dais? How do we make sure young women have opportunities to learn about technology, to learn about being on commissions, to learn about being in things that they didn't even think possible for themselves. And so I want to thank you again for all of your work, and I look forward to this coming back and recognizing this as a day to celebrate women. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Lowenthal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to thank Councilmember Price for including me on this motion. And I'm really pleased to see that everyone has shown up for this item, and thank you for your patience. We're privileged that you would bring this before us today and ask us to take action on it while we don't have any jurisdiction over the major impediments that women experience throughout the world. It is a very strong statement that our council can make. The convention is the only human rights treaty that affirms the reproductive rights of women and targets culture and tradition as influential forces shaping gender roles and family relations. And so as many times as we can herald it, the merits of it, hold it up, I think we can make progress. It still mystifies me that we have these conversations today in the 21st century. I'm listening to Councilwoman Gonzalez talk about male-dominated industries. I think technically I am as well, but we all are actually, when I look down the dais. But we've been privileged. Through the help of many people along the way, we have been able to succeed in areas that maybe many women have not been able to. And for that, I'm personally grateful for all the men and women that came together to allow that to happen in my life. And I'm hoping that while it's somewhat of a travesty that we're having this conversation in this day and age, I am always glad when there is active dialogue nonetheless, and that continued storytelling, and I think we can move toward the change you want to see. Thank you for bringing this to us, and I'm obviously very much in support of it.
Thank you. Councilmember Uranga.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank my colleagues to the right side of me. It seems like that's where all the women seem to be, in the right side. But, I do want to express my gratitude for bringing this forward. I think it's way long overdue. It's taken too many years to put this forward, and I want to share my thoughts with you in the fact that you have a partner with me in this issue. In another life, I used to work at Cal State Long Beach. I was an administrator there, and when I had plenty of opportunity to talk to students about professions, about marketability, about employability, and when young girls would raise their hands, and when I would ask the question, what do you want to be? They would say nurse. I would ask them the question, well, why not be a doctor? Or they would say, I want to be a mechanic, or why a mechanic? Why don't you just be an engineer? It was always that effort to try to push them forward to be something beyond what they thought their own expectations would be. And I think it takes, as the saying always goes, it takes a village, but it takes all of us commitment to help our young women to see that they make it through life in a way without prejudice and without obstructions and without obstacles, to be able to accomplish what they want to accomplish. Not what we want them to accomplish, what they want to accomplish. And that's something that has always been difficult for some segments of our society to believe, is that, you know, girls too and women have goals and ambitions and desires, and they all want to be career-minded and want to be where they want to be because that's where they can be. But the bottom line is that this is a way long overdue. And in my second phase of my life working for the city of Long Beach, I was the city's recruitment officer for many years. And it was my goal to increase the numbers of women in our employment, in our force. I was very pleased to see that during my efforts in recruitment, that we were able to hire the first woman firefighter in the region, here in the city of Long Beach. And we've been able to increase our representation of women in the police force as well. So we have made progress, but we have a long way to go. And it's a cultural change that we need to make within ourselves. It's a change of attitudes. And once we get there, we're going to be seeing a much better world. So thank you for bringing this forward. And I look forward to voting on the ordinance when it comes again. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Andrews.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I myself, it's a must that I, am so excited about this being brought to the diocese, being a father of 4 daughters. I had to weigh in because I have a wife that said after she saw this, you better weigh in. And I'm so happy that I am, because I think this is a great legislative item, and I commend Councilwoman Price for bringing this item forward. And this is another huge step towards affirming that Long Beach is a city that stands for equality. And it's so wonderful to be a part of a situation of this type. And thank you again, Mrs. Price.
Councilman Austin.
Thank you, and certainly echo the comments. I think Councilmember Uranga was very eloquent, and as well as Councilmember Andrews. I certainly stand in support of this item. I want to thank Councilmember Price and the women to the right women, for bringing this forward. And I just wanted to also say what an honor it is to serve with strong women on this council. We are equals, and each and every one of them are shining examples of leaders for young women and for many years to come. And you guys are all great role models, so thank you very much. It's an honor to serve with you all. I'm impressed by each and every one of you, and happy to support this motion.
Thank you, Councilman Mungo.
Well,
Well, after that, I don't think there's anything else I could say, so I want to thank the people who came today to be supportive of the item. It means a lot to us, and thank you for the leadership you've shown in each of your industries.
Thank you. Any public comment on this item? Please come forward.
Dear Honorable Mayor Robert Garcia and council members, my name is Nazanin Amani. I have been resident of Long Beach with my husband, who is here in support of SIDA, and my 2 sons for the past 25 years since we left Iran. I heard about Cities for SIDA campaign 2 years ago when I became member of Women Intercultural Network through my sister Elahe Amani, who is also in the audience, who is the women's rights and human rights activist. Getting acquainted with SIDA, I was surprised to find out that U.S. Constitution does not grant equal rights for women. I was even more surprised to find out that U.S. and Iran are 2 of the 6 countries in the world who have not ratified this human rights treaty. Well, I couldn't do much about Iran, not yet at least. But I took the initiative to bring this to my district councilwoman, Susie